What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nap Family Racing. I am under a blanket in my house. I did have some races from Speed Weeks down in Florida going on a little bit ago. Just like recap stuff, watching races that have already happened because I haven't had a chance to really keep up with that stuff, trying to get my own stuff going. But it is currently 17, 18 degrees outside right now with like 30-mile-an-hour gusts of wind. And it's been that way pretty much all day. Snowed again today. So, it's just another day that we're not going to work on the race car. Because I have a feeling that it's going to go smoothly. The worst part is going to be that when I pull that axle out, I'm going to lose transmission fluid, which is going to be financially annoying, just because a quart of that stuff is like $31 a piece. So mitigating how much we lose, losing some is inevitable, but mitigating how much we lose, and I have, I think, 2.5, maybe 3 quarts. I can't remember how many I bought originally. Don't know if I bought 3 or 4, but I think I definitely have 2, and maybe a half. So if we can keep it under that, that'd be great, and then I'll just have to restock on that stuff. But it's not cheap, and it's not cheap anywhere. If anybody knows where I can find manual transmission fluid for a Ford, it's like Mercron 5 or 6 or something like that, for less than $35, $31, $42 a quart, please let me know, because that stuff is bankrupting me. But yeah, so it's going to be fluid loss mitigation, and really all I have to do is get a pry bar in behind it, pop it out, and then get the new one lined up, pop that in, and get the loader knuckle put back together. But all of that kind of requires some precise hand placements and things like that, and it hurts to be outside right now, so we're just not doing it today. Hopefully here in like a month I'll have a garage door put on and start getting work on closing up the backside, not too long after that. But that garage door will help a bunch. It'll at least not make it a wind tunnel. So I think I'm going to go back to catching up on these races and staying warm. So I hope everybody else is staying warm. Oh, Wi-Fi just went out, so no more races. But I hope everybody's staying warm. I hope everybody still has power, and I hope that, if you don't have Wi-Fi, you've got some cool board games or something at the house. So tomorrow it's supposed to be a low of 17 degrees, but less wind. And as of right now, my crew chief is supposedly coming over. I'm making a video. We'll be seeing you. He's going to be coming over at some point in the evening. So we'll do the axle, and then we'll just do the axle and the oil leak all in one tomorrow. Excuse me. And then we should be good to go. Tomorrow, Harris Speedway added a practice day, a test and tune, leading up to their winter rumble on Saturday. Unfortunately, I don't think we're making either. Well, we're definitely not making the practice day, and I never really had any plans of making the Winter Rumble. I mean, if everything was like perfect, and it wasn't going to be a low of 22 on Saturday, maybe, but it being a low of 22, I just really don't like freezing. I don't like being cold, so I might be a wimp, but that's just how it is. So until tomorrow, we'll see you next time, and hopefully we get some warm weather here soon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nap Family Racing. It is Saturday morning, roughly about, 8:30. Back outside here. We were out here last night for every bit of 3 hours trying to get that axle out. And the only thing we accomplished was burning our brains up, buying tools that don't work, and realized how broke that axle actually was, because it came out of the cup that's on the transmission side, as well as not being attached to the spindle on the hub side. So now where we're at is we've got a CV cup that's just rust, dirt, and weather welded into the transmission. Last night came out, I guess before we went in for the night, soaked it in PV Blast, hoping that's gonna loosen it up, but with how cold it is, I don't know if it really did any good, but we'll find out. Just getting a little nervous, First race of the season's coming up. Like I said, we've got people coming from all over the place to come watch it. A lot of people excited for it, and we're not really in a place where we have an ample amount of time for things like this to happen. So the money eater strikes again, and we're just gonna have to push through it, do everything we can to just work on the car, get it back right. So, and we have to dispatch this problem pretty quick so we can get to the oil problem and jack the other side up, make sure there's nothing over there. So once we clear all 4 corners, I'll feel a lot better, and I still have to get the trailer registered and go get a spare tire for it. So it's just full plate city. And yeah, we just gotta get to work. So that's what we're gonna do. I've got a couple ideas that I want to try that we didn't try yesterday. So we're gonna try those now, see what happens. So let's get to it. I have to take the boot off the other side so I can see. Shove that back in. Clamp this on the cup. And I'm going to use the axle itself like a slide hammer. And see if I can pull it without pulling this thing off all the jack stands and the jack and destroying the race car. So here's that axle. Get some of these globs out of it. Let's do it for this one. Put our gloves on just because that axle's cold, and also there's a lot of stuff for us to bounce our hands off of down here. And by my calculations, it's a little too early to start bleeding. I can't tell if that's working at all. But I do know that it's not out yet. Okay. Sure. That's fine. That is making no progress. So back to the drawing board, I guess. I have an actual slide hammer over there. And I've seen where people take vice grips, thread the slide hammer into the vice grips. I just don't think that I have a vice grip with a wide enough opening to do that. Yeah, we'll have to do some more research and figure out how people are doing this. Because we've tried crowbars, lady slippers, pry bars, hitting it with a hammer, using the axle as a slide hammer. Went and bought the little CV axle removal tool where it's got a little claw that goes in there, and then slide hammer threads into it. You can pull it out like that. Or yeah, I'm running out of ideas, but back to the drawing board. So, all right, so that vice grip and axle slide hammer contraption we just tried to come up with was kind of a last ditch effort of getting by without kind of really having to do some mechanicking on this thing. And that there's just no easy way to kind of weasel around this. I just called a couple of different Ford dealerships in my area. Went on to the Googles and the YouTubes, and the problem with what we've got is we've got the MTX 755 5-speed manual, and most of the videos out there are either for the automatic transmission or I think it's a IB5 or something like that, which doesn't look the same. Like, the clearances are different. Our subframe comes down right to the top of the lower control arm area, and then our transmission fins come out kind of at it. So there's no way to get underneath it. There's no room to get in from the side, because that subframe bows out this way, so it hits and keeps anything from going further in, which is just a really long-winded way to say that we're gonna have to drop the transmission to get that axle out. So being that that is going to be a bear, just doing it on jack stands, dropping the transmission, and I'm hoping that just by dropping the trans mount, it'll give it enough room to kind of play and drop. So what I'll do is I'll take a 2x4 or some piece of wood or something that I can find to kind of disperse the pressure so I don't crack the trans casing or anything like that. Jack up against it, drop that trans mount, and then hopefully as I slowly let the jack down, that transmission will slowly come down with it until it's in a workable spot. I'm just hoping that I don't have to take a motor mount out as well to get it to exactly where I need it. But if I do, I do. It's not the end of the world. It just wouldn't be super ideal. But like I said, it is what it is type situation. Got 1, 2 motor mounts there. either in the front or rear. But I don't see one. So I guess we've got two rudder mounts. This one just kind of seems like a motors slash trans mount because it bolts to the top of the bell housing. Yeah, this is a new venture, so I'm gonna go figure out exactly where all of my mounts are, and I'm probably gonna watch a video of somebody changing or servicing the transmission, something in the transmission, flywheel, something, so I can see exactly what they have to take off to get that thing to come down, and just hope that some of those videos are for the transmission that we have. But it does have a trans mount on the bottom that comes like right off the transmission. Little mount right here. Take 2 bolts out, and it should let the back side sag down. But if not, we'll already have it under a jack, so we'll just tighten the jack up, put pressure back on it, come up here, probably have to remove the intake filter at a minimum to get to everything. Take the 5 bolts on this top, maybe 1 bolt. Like I said, I don't know. There's 5 bolts up there, but I don't know how many of those have to move for that mount to no longer be mounted. And then lower that transmission down, get in there, tug that cup out, get everything pressed back up, tighten down, torque down, and in with a new axle. I know I just made it sound super simple, really easy, and all the videos and things that I'm gonna look at are gonna do the same. And something's bound to go wrong. One of these bolts is going to be rusted and probably snap, and then we're gonna have to thread chase, go find somewhere that has the hardware that we need. I'm putting it out there now that we are going to have bad luck, because every time I go into it thinking that, oh, this is gonna be nice and simple, nice and easy, the money eater proves me wrong. So if I go into it thinking this is going to stink and it's gonna be a problem, maybe even if it's still a problem, it won't be as bad as the problem as I'm foreseeing it to be. But that could also go completely backwards, and it could be way worse than I could have ever imagined. So yeah, today for at least the first part, I'm hoping to be back out here by lunchtime with all the information that I have, depending on kind of what information I find. This may be a 2-person job. I'm sure I could get it done with 1 person, but it'd be nice to have a spotter or somebody to kind of work the jack pressures, or to take bolts off while I'm working the jack pressures. So that, and we're gonna have to find another jack, because our other jack is holding up the other side of the car right now. So far this video is very uneventful. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna go do some research. I might make a pot of coffee and really just get some brain juices flowing. Yep, we'll see you in a little bit.